Welcome. So let's talk about 4 different lineups that you could see Sheldon Keefe, the coach, icing to start the playoffs and/or moving forward as they evolve through the postseason. Now, please excuse these boards. I'm a bad editor. I can't even spell graphics really. So we're going to take a shot at this here. Oh, my light's not on. Beep. Oh, here's Johnny. Sorry. That was dumb. All right. First line. Oh, before we get started, just so you know what some of these markings mean. In the green, you have which players play the penalty kill or not. In the red, you have which side shot each player is. The 4 underlined players in purple there, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, are the players I don't see moving anywhere at all as I go through these boards. And there's the F/O markings here. Those are, I think there's 4 of them. The 4 players on the team who are above 50% off. Above 50% off. Wouldn't Kyle Dubas like that? Above 50% in the face-off dot. Who've played at least, who've had at least 50 face-offs to their name. So Thornton has only had 63, but he squeezes in there. Spezza, of course, is the best on the team, and Tavares and Matthews are pretty decent as well. Kerfoot, Brooks, and Nash are all under 50%. Not off, just under 50%. All right, so first line, we've got Foligno, Matthews, Marner. Foligno has played all his games so far with the Leafs on this line, so it's could be very likely that he continues to do that as he learns Toronto's systems. But and he's been okay. I mean, he's been decent. I wouldn't say he's been good. He's got 4 apples in 4 games. I think that's what it is, 4 or 5 games. But you know, as he gets to know the team better, I'm sure he'll improve his play as well, especially in the playoffs. But you see, I have him interchangeable here with Hyman, who's on the second line with Tavares and Nylander. Third line is where the debate really begins. Mikheyev will probably not move from this spot at all, I would imagine. We'll see. On the left, but with Kerfoot in the middle and Simmons. This is a decent lineup. It's not a shutdown line or anything, but it could provide some offense. Maybe as long as they don't get scored on, really. It's not my most ideal. The fourth line I really like, though. Thornton, Brooks, and Spezza. This just looked like the best fourth line I've seen on the Leafs all season. I know Keefe really liked this as well, but will Brooks, kind of a rookie, get the call over players like Riley Nash or even Engvall, Pierre Engvall? We'll see. We'll see how that works out. And those are the players I have scratched there so far. Moving forward, let's talk about the second board that I've got here. So we've still have Foligno on the top line with Matthews and Marner on the second line. I got Galley back in the lineup with Tavares and Nylander. He's finished the season really hot. I think he's got like 4 points, most of them goals in the last 5 games. He wasn't putting enough offense up until that point to be able to slip into the top 6 in order to not have a spot taken by a Hyman or a Foligno, for instance. So I'm still 50-50 whether Keefe will start him, but he's definitely making a case for it as he finishes off the season really well. Third line here, I've got Mikheyev again on the left with Nash now in the center and Hyman on the right, which would be a really good shutdown line. You could even exchange that with Kerfoot in the middle. And that might be the more likely scenario because Nash hasn't played any games with the Leafs. He's been injured since the trade. I think he's only played 32 games this season with the Blue Jackets. And he is one of the most premier shutdown centers in the league. So I'd imagine at some point he would get a chance in that spot without a doubt. It's just a matter of when we're going to see him. And on the fourth line there, I've got I moved it around a bit. Now I've got Spezza in the middle, Thornton on the left. Simmons comes down from the third to the fourth. This is kind of like the old man line somewhat. I like all these players, but you need someone who could skate fast on this line, and none of these guys really can. So although it's, it's nostalgic just to see something like that happen, I think Keefe has even used a lineup like this here and there. I'm not sure if they would get taken advantage of if they weren't starting in the offensive zone. So yeah, and then of course you see Brooks and Engvall slash Kerfoot also scratched. Let's talk about the third board slash what I call the Tim Burton board. That's because of this awful green marker that I used. It gives it off sort of like a Halloween kind of font. So yeah, so now I've got Mikheyev up on the top line with Matthews and Marner there. He's played a handful of games on that top line since he's been with the Leafs over the past couple seasons. So that's a possibility, but I do have him interchangeable with Galchenyuk, who has been successful playing on that top line. I mean, who isn't really? And Mikheyev, who's played more games with the Tavares-Nylander combo, might be a more accurate setting for him. And the reason I did this is because you now have like a super shutdown line on the third line here with Foligno on the left, Nash and or Kerfoot in center, and Hyman on the right side. I would love to see this and just like take apart defensemen piece by piece. And I think if they were getting enough offense from the top six like they are right now, I think Keefe is secretly dying to do this. And then on the fourth line, again, here I have Spezza in the middle with Thornton and Simmons. Again, it's a slow line, but if you do have this kind of somewhat of its own super checking line here on the third line, maybe this fourth line would only play like 7 minutes and, plus, special teams. So there's that. And of course, Engvall and Brooks are scratched here. You could also see Engvall play in between Foligno and Hyman. That could be a possibility too, right? I wouldn't doubt that might happen. Now let's talk about the fourth and final board that I have here. This is interesting too. Now I've got Hyman and Foligno back in the top six here. Hyman with Matthews and Marner, of course, interchangeable with Foligno, who's with Tavares and Nylander. Then I got Galchenyuk, who I think if he was going to be anywhere but besides in the top six, this is the spot where he would go. Alongside, Kerfoot and Simmons, which I don't think would be a bad line either. These guys, up until recently, when it comes to Galley anyway, haven't scored much. As long as they don't get scored on. It's not a bad line. It's just not my most ideal. It's not something I would call a shutdown line either. So I'm a bit speculative about that. But, Thornton could slot into that lineup. Maybe that would look better. That might have more of a offensive touch to it. And then the bottom here, you've got sort of a different kind of shutdown line with Mikheyev, Nash in the middle, and Spezza on the right wing here. Again, you could put Brooks or Engvall into either of these center spots in the middle, or even on the wing, perhaps. Instead of Galchenyuk or maybe even Thornton. So yeah, there you have it. There are my four boards, four possibilities. I would love to hear from you. Which one you think is the most likely, maybe, or which one is your favorite even? And if you don't see them, if you don't like what you've seen, tell me what your ideal lineup is in the comment section below. Especially Toronto fans, I would love to hear from you. Please don't forget, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You'll find the connection in the description box down below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And consider sharing this video. It would really help with the algorithm on YouTube. It would be a big favor to me. Thanks again. Please be kind to each other out there. And thanks for watching.